Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Lust Pass podcast show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
All right, join us for our weekly conversations about culture, about life, about everything. Get to know us, get to love us. This episode today is sponsored by Cigar Junkies and also CJS Educational Services. Please go out to cigarjunkies.com and get your merch. Before we jump in this episode, first of all, happy Juneteenth, and
Yes,
how are you
yes.
doing?
I'm doing fabulous on this Juneteenth holiday. You know what I'm saying?
I see you get the head on, make our
Yeah,
president.
this is make our president black again, not
Okay.
make America great again. Make our president black again. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So on this Juneteenth, it's about everything celebrating Black history. First Black president, Juneteenth. That whole thing about getting out of that, being a resilient people. That's what Juneteenth represents to me. That Black folks, African folks, are a resilient group of people to still doing what they need to do in order to survive the onslaught that's daily being heaped upon them. So with that being said, though, let's get into this show. We got a really special guest today.
Yes, yes, yes. So today we are talking about not just college football, but college athletes, the whole sport world, among some other things, some mental health issues. And we are all doing that with one of the DOC's old friends. So before we get into any introductions, let us get Mr. Jackson into this podcast with us. So we will be admitting him. I am really excited about this episode.
We got Coach Bobby Jackson. I know him as Bo when we went to school back in the '90s, back at Northwestern. He was one of the running backs on the football team during that day during the '90s, and so now he's still involved with athletics, doing it from a coaching standpoint. And so we got him on the horn. All right, we got Coach Bobby Jackson here on the horn. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Lust Podcast.
Yeah.
We were doing a brief intro. I was just letting them know that you and I went to school back in the day, back in Northwestern, our alma mater, and you were the one of the running backs, started running back on the team, and now you segue that 20 plus years later to being an elite performance coach and exactly what that means. So can you tell us a little bit of background about yourself, and then also what are you currently doing right now?
Well, of course, I had the honor of being a classmate to the wonderful Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? He really set the tone for the campus. Just want to let y'all know he kind of brought some spice to the Northwestern community, which we really needed. We really needed to step our game up. But yeah, I was a running back, back in Northwestern, and in that process of really growing to a young man, a lot of stuff I didn't have, there to really make me reach my full potential. I left a lot of dreams and a lot of accomplishments on the table because a lot of stuff I didn't know, and so I kind of segued. That was one of my passions when I got out, is that I did not want, young great athletes to go through what I went through, and be better prepared mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because we don't talk about that part. We just want guys to come in and fit the mold, physically. But we got to understand, these are still kids. They're 18 to 22 years old, and these are formidable years for them to grow and mature. So it was an opportunity of passion for me to make sure I kind of reach out and kind of help mold and shape, this next generation of kids so they can be prepared, especially what they're entering into now with this new transfer portal and NIL world, and a new landscape of athletics, where we understand that when we talked about it, long time ago, that we knew that money ruled the roost, but now it's at full display. You can't hide it anymore. So, where are families and young athletes, young aspired athletes actually fit into what's going on? So, that's what one of my passion projects right now. Got a lot of stuff on the table. That's the thing. One of the things I'm working on right now.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to get into that when we talk about NIL deals and things like that, especially in back in your day, what that would have looked like during your day when you played football, especially being part of the resurgence at Northwestern. Could you have capitalized off those NIL deals and things like that, or what have
Well, it's so funny because a lot of my former players, they come back and tell me it was like, Bo, if you would have came out in this NL deal, you would have been filthy rich because I was one of when I came out, I was considered a five-star
you?
athlete coming there to Northwestern and one of the biggest recruits, if not the biggest that they ever had gotten. You know what I'm saying at the
Mm-hmm.
time. So I came out the year where me and Jerome Bettis was 1-2 in our position. So that lets you
Yeah.
know how close we were. So it really have changed the game. I tell you what, it really would have taken a lot of stress off of me because of the mental health issues I was going through, right? Dealing with stuff at home. So it'll answered a lot of those issues, and probably kept me a little bit more on track and a little bit more focused. So it's a two-way street, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the opportunities that athletes have with getting these NIL deals, but you have to be mature and ready. And you really have to understand what this means because this is not a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is not a lottery. This is grown man's business right now. And a lot of families and kids do not understand that.
All right. Yeah, appreciate that.
Well, I wanted to kind of ask you something before we got into your personal story, because you have about one of the
Okay.
things that I just heard you say is you talked about youth, and so two of the questions I
Mhm.
had are about two young athletes, and one of the question is, what are your thoughts about LeBron's son joining the NBA? Like when you talk about youth and things of that nature, do you think he's ready? Do you think he really can play? Do you think he's deserving of these deals and things that are coming his way?
Well, of course, I don't want to be too biased because I'm a huge LeBron fan. But when it comes to nepotism, we see that in different colors when we come into athletics and opportunities. So I don't really see anything wrong with it,
Yeah.
because we've over time we have masked that in different things when it comes to people of color getting the opportunity to play certain positions they never allowed to play. So just because that white quarterback wasn't the coach's son, he was white. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, nepotism happens in different type of forms, right? You see what I'm saying?
No, no doubt.
And for him to get that opportunity, which I think he's extremely prepared because you have a father that is considered one of the greatest basketball minds that's ever, you know what I'm saying, has ever played the game. He has the trainers. I mean, he has all the tools to get in there and to be able to contribute. Now, will he become a star? Because that's the expectation. Everybody wants to know if is he going to be the next LeBron. But you got to understand when we watched the Boston Celtics win the championship yesterday, people even Denver the year before, they didn't really say it was about the two stars. They would say it was about the team. So you might have two stars on the team, but you have other 10 role players, right, that win you championships. So he might be that fantastic role player that knows the game, that understands how to play his role and understands how to develop. So if I put him up against a lot of kids that's having the opportunity to come in and play, you have to argue that his mind is already so far developed and superior just from who he grew up with. You know what I'm saying? To be able to adapt to the game and translate.
Yeah, I hear you on with that, and I agree with that. I definitely agree and support the agree with you on the nepotism piece. But my
Mhm.
thing is, I think that he's taking the opportunity from a kid that's already put up the legitimate work. He didn't even start on his own team at USC, and his numbers, if you just look at the numbers from a quantitative standpoint,
Mhm.
it doesn't warrant an opportunity to even get invited to the draft combine. That's what I'm thinking. And so the
Yeah,
nepotism is what puts him in front of everybody, which I'm completely
Mm.
cool with. But I
right.
think that's an even different type of burden on
Yeah.
the young man or whatever. But yeah, I
Uh,
appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, but, of course, if it wasn't him, we would all be screaming, especially me, like, oh man, where's the fairness and all of that, But then you look at if you look at the game of people actually playing, because this is what I hear from coaches, from professional coaches, even if they are putting up numbers in college, you hardly ever see those guys really translate that into the league because
That's
they
true.
really know how to play basketball. That's why you see the NCAA men's game is actually below ratings when it comes to the women's game because the women's know fundamentals.
Yeah. I've always
Women
said that
playing
we
real
want to learn
basketball.
the yeah.
Yeah, the women playing real basketball. Right.
Say it again.
So the men come
Yeah.
in and they don't even know how to run an offense. They don't know
Come on.
nothing but ISO ball.
Come on.
So a coach is looking at that is like, yeah, I might get a couple of ISO players and put up some numbers, but I gotta build a team. Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm looking at a Bronny, I'm looking at a guy that's open, willing, and understands the importance of saying, look, I don't have to be the star to be able to contribute and be great. And that is hard for young guys who grew up in the AA system, especially if they were stars, to be
Yeah.
able to take that back road. They don't know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah. They don't know how. You're right.
So
You're right.
so
And you
so so so
definitely
so 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 that's Bronny's advantage that he's able to adapt.
yeah.
You
He
get what
has a
I'm
high I
saying?
would definitely say he has a high basketball IQ. Very
Yeah.
coachable.
Yeah. So
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 yeah.
so you thinking about if you got a high basketball IQ and you playing on USC with a lot of where they're not really playing real basketball, how difficult is for you to be able to step out and shine?
Hmm.
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
difficult, especially him coming out from the illness. He couldn't step and run as hard
Yeah.
as he could. But still, it's not going to mesh well. So, but to be honest, if I had a choice for him to go actually play pro ball, I would go tell him to go play overseas and then come back
I
because
would agree with that. I
they
definitely would agree with that.
play better basketball over there, right?
I
And then
definitely
come
would
back
agree with
over
that.
here and improve his shot. So if I was to say what is the best route for him, I would pick that route first.
Yep. I would agree with that. All right,
Now,
cool.
for the record, did I hear both of y'all say that women play better basketball than men?
The game, the
Absolutely, the game,
fundamentals.
absolutely,
Okay.
I've always said that. You know that about
Okay.
me. I've
no
always
doubt.
said as
There's
a
no
coach,
question.
if you want to learn the fundamentals of
So why
basketball,
don't we had this discussion the other day about this. How come the WNBA don't get more views? How come they don't get more viewership if they play the game better and things of that nature? We
the,
always had this
I
conversation of
think part of
why,
it is the way that it's marketed.
and we
Um,
Right.
always said that
the,
it
the, the
doesn't
other
market
piece is
well to
that
women.
it's part of the NBA structure, which means that people don't realize this. A lot of these folks don't have their own arenas. So they're
Right.
sharing arena and space.
True.
And so from a timing, like for example, the Chicago Sky, they got like 5 games that are 11 a.m. during the week.
Hmm.
Who's gonna watch that, let alone
Go
physically attend that?
Yeah.
So that's a losing proposition. The other thing I
Yeah.
think too, I truly believe is that I think that women have to get behind the game too as
Hmm.
well and support
But they
it.
don't
That's
market to
right.
women. They don't market the
Well, that's what
NBA,
we
the
were saying. They need to put
WNBA
it
to
on
women. They don't put it on Lifetime. They
the
don't put
own
it on
network.
all the channels that women watch. I think everyone knows the probably top 10 channels that women watch. You can get that from data. And so why not market the NWA, the WNBA games on those channels and things of that nature? I
Mhm.
say that if you get women behind the WNBA, then the men are going to follow. Men are naturally going to follow the women and what they like.
Mhm.
So I think you can get more views that way, but they don't
Yeah.
market to us women.
And then there's another piece no one really wants to talk about, and and
Mm.
we're not, this is not the platform right now to talk about it, but it's people's lifestyle choices,
Mhm.
and it's hard to market that to middle America is what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
So you have a league that perception, I don't think it is, that may leans towards a certain sexuality or something like that. That's
Mhm.
hard to market for certain, especially the middle America, and
Mhm.
that's another piece too that people don't really want to talk about or what have you.
Mhm.
So how do you market that? And a lot
Well,
of folks are very uncomfortable with doing that. And you saw the backlash that companies like Budweiser, when they
right.
tried to do that a year ago, and they
Mhm.
got huge backlash
Mhm.
from that to the point where they had to pull the whole ad campaign and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So that's stuff that people don't really want to talk about, but it's real when you're talking about marketing and things like that or whatever.
Yeah. And one of the things too is the psychological point that most people don't talk about, which really could help the marketing, is we can describe it as that old school mindset, as if people don't want to let go of Jordan, right? So we don't want to let go of
He was
men.
the best.
Yeah, we don't want to let go of the 80s, 90s era where men actually played basketball. So we really still think that superiority, men's basketball is still superiority from where we think about how men play the game in the past, right?
Yeah.
So the marketing switch is women play real basketball. The real game is played here. So
Yeah.
if you really jump on that marketing tool, like the real game is played here, that kind of shifts the mindset.
I
Like
like that.
we're making a change. You see what I'm
Copyright
saying? We're
that, Coach
making a
Bobby.
shift.
I like that.
You get what I'm
Copyright
saying?
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we making a shift, right?
Yeah.
So people start looking at it different because right now we're still looking at them as if it was back in like when they first started the WNBA, when it was like, man, they were just throwing stuff together, right?
Yeah.
And they actually thinking about and some people consider women's basketball when they played a half court game. You remember when
Yeah.
only the defense played 1.5, and
Yeah. Yeah.
then you get what I'm saying? So we
Mhm.
haven't evolved in our thinking of how the game has evolved. So, like I said, that marketing pitch of, like I said, the real game is played here. That would start I think a snowball effect.
All right.
Because the deal is, Jimmy, you know what it all comes down to? Vegas don't care who's winning. If that bets can come in,
Yeah.
they don't
Exactly.
care.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So the benefit of making that marketing switch is, oh shoot, Vegas is gonna love it. The bettors gonna love it.
Yeah. And that's what's
Mhm.
happening now. There's big
Yeah,
money being made on the
Mhm.
WNBA
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
another revenue stream now. So they love it.
Absolutely,
So they're going to
absolutely,
push it as much as they can now. Yeah.
absolutely. So it's time to make that psychological switch, you know?
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate that.
No, no
So
problem.
I have a question. You talk about there's this new era of college football relationship dynamics and things of that nature. So I wanted to
Mhm.
ask you, what were those dynamics of college football when you played, and are those dynamics still there now with how college football is played now?
For sports in general.
Well, I tell you that is a layered question, but it's very relevant. I mean, to what's going on. Like when I came up, I give you a broad scope of it. When I came up, you signed your letter of intent. You knew you had 4 years guaranteed. As long as you didn't do nothing crazy and stupid, you know what I'm saying? You didn't flunk
So
out.
4 years were guaranteed.
Yeah. It was my guarantee
Okay.
to you,
All
right?
right.
And it was already understood because otherwise, as a school, as Power Five school, you can't not guarantee it because that's going to hurt your recruiting,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? So they had to play that game. So you knew you was going to go, so you knew you was going to develop, and then the coaches were like, okay, this guy come in, we're going to redshirt him, or he needs some time to develop on the field physically. He needs time to kind of mature into a leader, so he'll be ready by the time his junior year. You was given that time to grow and find yourself,
Yeah. So
right?
those are where you got red shirt years and things like
Yeah,
that,
red
right?
shirt. Yeah. You had a
Okay.
time to find yourself and find, and grow, right, and mature, and actually get out into the school, and just like we venture out to the Black House like we did,
Yeah.
meet some regular students, get into some different clubs, kind of become a well-rounded student athlete, right? You had that opportunity to do that. Now it's different because once you sign that letter of intent, it's become year to year because of the transfer portal. See, before they didn't have the transfer portal. So if I wanted to get rid of you, even if I brought somebody in, that person had to set a year. So it
Yeah.
wasn't an
So how does the
advantage.
transfer portal work now?
It's automatic playing. It's
So there's
automatic.
no more sitting out for
No
you.
more sitting
Automatic
out.
playing.
It's automatic.
Wow. So that's how Dion was able. They said he manipulated the
Flip.
system, was able to get all those.
So is that good or bad?
Wow. So is that? What do you think? Is
Is
that
that
good
good
or
or
bad?
bad that
I thought it
now?
was. I think it's good that
But
the
from
guy.
So
which standpoint?
it's great. It's great for business,
Okay.
right? It's great for business, but it puts a lot of pressure. It puts a lot of smoke on the coaches to be able to perform well. See, now because coaches used to be given 3 to 4 years for their evaluation if they was going to keep you, right?
You're right.
Now it's 1 to 2 years, and if you're an assistant coach, it's only one.
Wow. This is real. This is
You see
this
what
is
I'm
no.
saying? But because
This is
they're giving you access, just like the NFL, to be able to retool your roster to be able to produce and put a great product out on the field. So there's no excuses for me to go say, hey, AD, I got a great recruiting class. That recruiting class is going to take a couple of years to develop. Give me some time. They like, no, time
so
is now.
Mm.
So I got a question. We have
Mhm.
actually a nephew in our family. I'm not gonna say what school he's going to, but he's
Right,
going D1,
right.
P5. Big.
Uh-huh.
I think they're in the ACC.
Hmm.
And he was top player in Tennessee, top
Right.
basketball player, I think in 4A. And
Okay.
so he's going to be a point guard. What would you tell him, especially with the NIL, how to mentally prepare for that? Like, how does he get with the money, the girls, all this other? How does a kid prepare for that at 18 years old and their
What
parents
what
never been to college?
the number one thing is, and this is one thing a quote that LeBron James says about him and his team. It resonates with me hard. He lets Maverick and what's his other guy, Rich Paul, do what they
Which part?
do, right? They let them do what they do. He says, but I make the main thing the main thing, right? So what's happening is since parents and families and handlers know that this money is out there, they're making that thing the main thing for that athlete. But they're not
Mm,
going on campus.
I never thought about it like that.
They're not going on campus, right? They're not doing the workouts. They're not doing the homework. They're not going through the psychological pressure that's going on. They don't understand that because this NIL and transfer portal deal is going on, I'm not entering school now as a student athlete. That people don't look at me like I'm a kid. They look at me now like I'm a grown man. Why?
Yeah.
Because I make more money than most people at the athletic department, and sometimes I make more money than my assistant coach.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying? So I'm an
yeah.
18-year-old guy. All of a sudden, now I'm a grown man. So there's a difference between a grown man at 18, how he handles pressure, than a grown free agent at 22 going into the pros. And say that's what athletes have become. They become free agents. Right. So you got that middle shift there. So how do they prepare? One thing, like I said, you got to make the main thing the main thing. It's all about how can I be the best basketball player I can be for this team and organization. I can't be thinking what school is going to help me get to the NBA. No, 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 no. Because what the deal is, if I don't come in and give my best, just like if you got an employee, if they don't come give you your best, what are you going to put on their resume? What are you going to put on as a reference when they call you?
Do not hide.
So what do you think that even if you coming in like, well, this school ain't gonna get me to the NBA, and you ain't putting out and doing what you supposed to, what do you think they gonna tell the other coach?
Same thing.
Same thing.
He
Same
ain't
thing.
worth it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
He ain't
now this
worth. He
kid
ain't
got to
worth the
go back
time.
So
into
do
the portal
players
then.
know this though? But I would
You,
love
you,
to know if players know. Do
no,
players understand
they
So
that
yeah, so,
dynamic?
they
so as
don't
part
they
of
don't
your
understand
coaching,
that.
yeah.
So
They don't.
how do you teach these young athletes that when you
You,
know that coaches are not teaching this?
well, the coaches are not teaching because they got the pressure too now because high schools, a lot of state high schools have open transfer now. Like my
What?
other home state in
Hold on. Are
Oklahoma.
you serious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can
This
openly
is the
transfer
wild,
without
wild
have to,
west.
yeah, yeah, without having to set out.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. I did not know it was like that at the
So
high school level.
at the high school level, yeah. So they get the high school levels getting NIL and open transfer.
I did not know that.
I knew they had started the NIL. So I got a quick question with the NIL. What does that money look like? Like we know about the Shador with
Hmm.
Dion's and Peyton Manning's son with the type of
Hmm.
money they're getting, but
Hmm.
what is like a regular Joe on the football team? He's like playing, he's like, I don't know, the second string linebacker or something. What does that look like for him or her?
It depends on where he transferred from. So say if he
Okay.
was at another Power Five school and they say, hey, we want to transfer him to come in and compete for this position, right? He might, get a quarter million,
Wow.
right? Quarter million for that. But like a regular guy, just like, just coming in, he might get 50, 60, 80 grand. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That,
what I
that that's
heard.
that's low on totem pole. But like I said, but the other guys, they getting about transfers coming in to add depth, playing depth. They get about a quarter million. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Quarter
And
million.
this
But
is
it
in a
all depends.
P5?
The yeah, yeah. The premium positions that's getting the most money are quarterbacks and defensive linemen and edge rushers. Backs. No, they get premium dollars. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to get them, right? It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't getting the 500s. Right. So the deal is, so you got an assistant coach making 250, 300, and you making 500, and you don't want to put out no effort. You don't want to, you struggling in the meeting rooms, right? You're not meeting the expectation of that position coach. What do you think he's gonna do? You get what I'm saying? So the whole relationship dynamic between where I used to come up, where you got into college and you got a position coach, that was your mentor. He helped grow you up, right? But no, but the assistant coach now is like, no, I ain't got time to do that, because if you don't produce, I'm fired.
Yeah. So the
In
whole
1
relationship
year,
is transactional, not
it's transaction.
transformational.
It's right. And the kids don't understand that. So you got a kids that's been in one community all their life and never been nowhere. Just the fear and mental stress of that, of actually going to a PWI.
Yeah.
We're talking about people from our community.
Yeah.
So you know what that adjustment is like. You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Right.
So what are some of the, when you're working with these kids, what are they at the college level, high school level? Tell us a little bit about that.
High school and college. But I tell you the most difficult part about this deal, and I'm telling you one of the reasons why I'm kind of, I hate to say it, but I've been doing it for 30 years and I'm kind of transitioning out of it because I'm older now, and I'm ready to do something different with my life. You know what I'm saying? That's something I talk about, my other thing I'm getting on later, but life after 50, it's different.
No doubt.
You ain't got time for BS. You know what I'm saying?
We need to bring you back on the show, because y'all definitely can have an episode. That's the name. Life after 50.
Dude.
I just told him, like,
I have low tolerance for the BS.
You are transformed. I told him this. I literally said, please don't become like that grumpy old man who just hate everything, like bah hum bah bah. I like, please. I said, I want my fun D.O.C. back. Like, I need the fun man around me. You can't be grumpy, but I noticed when y'all turning close to 50, y'all tolerance is very low with the BS.
Low with the ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got time for that. But I said, but the biggest hurdle to getting to the kids are the parents.
Oh yes,
that's my struggle.
From two people who work in education fields,
that's my
could
struggle.
Do 16 hours.
Struggle. Because if the parents don't take it seriously and don't team up with me, they won't make the kid. They won't pressure the kids to make it serious, because this is new information for a kid. I don't blame a child, because he's still a child, and these are very complex things for him to understand that they really can't even fathom or think about. They can't even imagine a life being away from home. So for me to tell them that, hey, when you going to leave home in a few minutes, they're going to treat you like a grown man, they don't have no clue of what that means, but their parent does.
Yeah.
Their parent understands what that means. But if they don't back that up, and then ask me, how do I set up infrastructure so we can start preparing this? It's all for naught.
Yes,
it's like I'm speaking Chinese to them, and they don't know what I'm talking about.
You
get what I'm saying? So it's difficult. So you understand that, y'all get that. Y'all get that. So it's no different between the athletic and the athletic environment is no different from the education environment. It's the same thing. The kids need a village, right? And they need a team around them to be successful. Now, if we look at our other counterparts, our other shades, our white players, they already have a team.
Yeah.
They know exactly what to do, exactly how to conduct themselves. You see what I'm saying? They know what to do with their money. They know how to talk to the coach. They know how to read, different interactions to be able to adjust, and so on, so. They know how to do that. And then they get guided all the way through, and that's why you see them more successful, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question on the opposite end of that spectrum, though?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with the parents of, I don't know how to say this to sound nice, but the kids who suck, the kids who are not good at a particular sport, but in their head, they're good, they're going to the pros, they're this, but you don't necessarily see that, or you see it takes a lot of work. How do you deal with those kids and those parents?
And then they both don't meet the dream, the parent nor the kid. And so I've seen parents where they just look at the kid like a piece of trash now.
Yeah, you would be surprised that more parents need the help than the kid.
Say it again. Yes, sir.
They need a lot of therapy and a lot of coaching more than the kid. Right. So what you do to get their attention is because they think they know everything and they try to, you know, live on this dream and press on this dream through their kid.
Yep.
But the thing that rings a bell on them is like, okay, what type of relationship do you want to have with your kid through this process when it all falls down? Because the kid will look at you and he's gonna have some strong animosity for you. That you done took me down this road. You know, I've wasted all this time. I don't know who I am. I haven't developed any other skills. You know, what do I do now?
That's deep.
Yeah.
Who
When you
am
say
I?
it like that, it's deep.
You see what I'm saying? But because that's the thing, it sounds deep, but that's the thing that they're going to be dealing with behind closed doors. Now you can fake the funk in front of me. Oh, my kid, oh man, he got an offer. He got so no, if he continue to work hard, I don't care how hard he work, he ain't going. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You sound like
He said, "You ain't going."
you sound
He
like
ain't going. But that would be okay for the kid if the kid developed other options.
And that's the other piece: to develop other options.
Developing
Right.
other options.
And I hate to even say the word options, because if you think about it, if athletics didn't work or you wasn't good enough, that was never an option.
Yeah.
So you really never developed your true self and what you really are, what you really talented in. So you really never found a avenue at all. Right. So just think how destructive that relationship between that parent and that kid is going to be after it all falls down.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a single mother.
Yeah.
Okay, please elaborate.
Because the boy already lived, because I've lived this, where you got a lot of pressure on you that you're supposed to be the savior of your family and your community.
So that's a whole different type of mental piece going on right there.
Dude.
Not only just the performance, you said just the performance piece, but on top of that, now you're literally the savior of this whole thing.
Yeah. So you done failed them, right? Your whole identity in your community is that thing that you didn't become, right? So what do you think the mental disorder is going to happen in that thing? I don't know. I done been there.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know what it looks like.
That sounds like my man Brandon Dawson.
Yeah. But is it even fair to ask? Are the experiences totally different from an athlete coming from a single household versus a two-parent household?
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Oh, it's a huge difference.
Huge,
it's a huge
especially
difference.
Coming from a first generation family.
Yeah.
Even if the single mother had brothers and uncles that stepped in and was supportive and things of that nature, it's still, in y'all view, is it still different?
You know, one thing I've seen coaches say this when they were recruiting, that they always, especially they were recruiting certain kids from certain neighborhoods, that the kids that had that male presence, that's the kid that they latched on first. That's the kid that they wanted part of their program. That's the kid that went to the top of the recruiting priority list, and they were open with that. Yeah,
and they take that more seriously now than ever. But like you said, because now they can't miss.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We're not developing players no more. We're not redshirting them anymore. So I can't miss.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of coaches openly said, dude, if I'm looking at his family structure and it's not what I feel like is conducive to him progressing, I turn away. I don't care how nice the kid is or how nice the mom is. Because I understand that the pressure that's going to hit him. And this is why I love Dion. People be hating on Dion, but Dion.
I was going to ask you about Dion. we had that over.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And one of my good friends that, he's kind of old school in his ways. I'm like, look, man, this dude is telling you everything that's going on in here. He's rolling over every rock and showing you everything. And he's showing you how to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? Head on. And he does it respectfully. You can say everything about his program, but was any of his players in trouble?
Yeah. any violations, nothing, no compliance
Did,
issues.
did you see anything off the field? Did you see anything off the field? But how many violations did Kirby Smart have just this
Come
half
on now.
in his first half of the year?
Come on now. Come on.
He has no control over his players.
None whatsoever.
None. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They done broke records at CU academically. And then we ain't talking about just attendance to the games, but academically they done broke records. They have no violations off the field. They got the money and you see it. You see the NIL money. So all that saying, oh, if you get these niggas, excuse my language, you know what I'm saying? You get them this money, they gonna go out and act like heathens. Well, that's not true because look at Colorado.
And you have a guy that's went through it so he can show them how to play with money and do it the right way.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So he's showing you that's the model to follow, right? Because NIL and this money gonna happen anyway. But to
So what
be
do you
able to,
predict for Deion after a CU? You think he's going?
I'm kind of curious about what he does when his boys leave. I don't know if he'll stay.
Yeah.
Because he loves his family, want to be around his kids so much. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. I mean, I would hope he stays around just because we need him. We desperately need him because this is the thing. And a lot of people try to hate him too. This pisses me off. How many times have you ever seen an African American coach at that highest level get a total autonomy of the program in the community?
Never.
Never.
Not at that level.
You get what I'm
Even the guy at
saying?
Notre Dame doesn't have that autonomy. Nobody.
But and then it goes to show because if they don't have that buy-in and control of the community of the program, they can't do what Nick Saban did.
Yeah.
Right. He insulates failure. So people gonna continue to believe in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got most of us who got an opportunity, we barely even knew they was head coaches at their team. They didn't have a voice. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have no type of personality. They didn't have no type of. It was almost like a token job, right? So they was easily expendable, and you don't even remember them.
Yeah.
You know how many black coaches Colorado had? They had a whole lot of them. You don't even know their name.
Sure don't.
In the past 10 years, they had like 3 of them. You don't even know their name.
Yep.
You get
The
what I'm
other thing
saying?
I like about Deion is that he has that umbrella too of other coaches that he's bringing up under him.
Absolutely.
Go all out around.
Absolutely. But total autonomy, right?
Yeah.
So he's done created a culture and a brand and a personality over their team that even if he failed a little bit, the board is going to look like Colorado Buffalo is prime. That's our personality now. We just have to roll through it. Just like, you had the bad years of Patino,
yeah,
or even Calipari or so-and-so. They'd be like, shoot, he is us. So we can't break that personality. You see what I'm saying? Because when people see that, they see that, but we never had that. So to see him do it and do it well and do it with integrity, I'm like, come on, man. That's a perfect example for other brothers who get an opportunity for other schools to be like, hey, dude, I'm going to give you the keys.
mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times we don't get those keys.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We get stipulations attached.
Yeah. You're right about that. Especially after what happened with my man at Michigan State, what he got caught up with.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Anybody, we know if there was other shade, they would have protected that. They would have got that thing up out of there. You never even heard about it.
You sure would. Come on. Yeah, he got off of FaceTime. He got cut down off of FaceTime.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Come on. Yeah. So that is
just
what
have
it is.
one last real serious question for you,
no
and
problem.
that is, because I truly believe that mental health is something that people really need to talk about, address.
Please, I want to get into this too. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that we talk about it enough, especially in the Black community, especially with Black men, and I think specifically with athletes. I think a lot of times athletes are just told to go out and play, practice, do your work, and that's it. No one addresses all the problems that they bring to the team and things of that nature. So my question for you is how do you think mental health issues, well, do you think they're being addressed properly in collegiate sports? And how do you think these issues should be handled in collegiate sports? The whole thing of mental health.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I take it from even athletics into all arenas. I think the way people handle mental health is a bunch of BS. I'm just gonna be flat out honest. I think it's a scam, especially what they do in the educational system. Right? They select a few and they misdiagnose, and they already have a bias towards them, and they put them down one pike. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Athletics, they mental health. I guess, quote unquote, attention is really has to do with liability. All right. I don't want you to cause harm to myself to others and on my watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. You get what
Yeah,
I'm
they just
saying?
have it there for compliance purposes.
If it's for
That's it.
compliance purposes. Why? But see, my deal is, and this has been my biggest pushback, you know, and I've grown tired, is that you're not doing anything to prevent the mental health crisis from coming. You react to mental
You
health, but
react.
you don't prevent it,
Yeah. Not
right?
proactive.
You're
Yeah.
not proactive. You're not proactive in those things, right? And that's the biggest my thing is character development. If you watch the character of players, we judge them in a way, if they got bad character, they're bad people.
Yeah.
But we never connect questionable character to mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
we already making an assumption in our mind that they're bad people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we looking at our ex-president like he ain't a bad person at all. What the heck is going on? And
Yeah.
we see, so there's a bias, right,
Mm-hmm.
towards who can be mentally healthy and strong and who can't.
Yeah. And so
Right?
for me, it's all about not only developing the player athletically, but developing as a whole. And I've
You
learned
got
from
to
an
develop in a
education
whole.
standpoint,
Yeah.
if you trying to get a kid to focus on academics and athletics, but they have all this other stuff going on in the
Right.
background,
Right.
housing displacement, food
Yeah.
insecurity
You're right.
issues,
Exactly.
substance abuse. I call them the minefields of life.
Yes, right.
I can't focus. I mean, basketball is just an escape, but
Yeah.
after 2-3 hours, I got to go back to this dysfunctional environment.
Exactly.
And so, how are you going to help me navigate that on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis?
Exactly. And I spend more hours in that space than I do on this
Yeah.
practice field of practice with you. You get what I'm
And you
saying?
see it.
Yeah.
And you
You
sit
see
all the
it in
time.
the kids. You see, I
So
have
what
kids
they
that. No, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I see a perfect example of that when you're around kids for 7, 8 hours and they're fine with you, but the minute that they leave and have to go home to that destruction, they're like a whole different person again, and you have to go back the next day and rewire all of that from that
Yeah.
whole overnight of being at home
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
dysfunction.
And how often are you successful in that rewiring? It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Hey, put it this way, it's 50-50 if it's Friday, because you
Yeah.
tired.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I used to run when I got out of college. I used to be a mental health tech. I worked at mental health institutions for 3 years, from ages 5 to 75. We had all different deals, and I used to do because I used to run my business throughout the week, and I used to get my extra money on the weekends. So I used to run 32-hour shifts on the
Okay.
weekends, and it was tough because there was no programming on the weekends. It was all on me to make sure everything ran smoothly. During the week, there's programming. Oh, you go see your therapist, or you go to
Yeah.
school, you go so. But I had to make sure that everything ran smooth. So if you got through a weekend with no hiccups or no fumbles, you had a successful weekend because you
Yeah.
was up from the time that went up and you put them to bed, right? But so the key was preparation. The key was to be able to, as a leader, to be able to know so-and-so has this issue, so-and-so has that trigger, so-and-so, and you getting in front of all of those things, right? You get in front of all of them. So what I'm saying when it comes to athletics and coaches, the coaches ain't kind to don't have any time to get in front of anything, right? They trying to keep their
Nope.
own job, right? And then you have these people who work in the department, the athletic department, right? They have a bunch of women in there, not to be white women, talking to black players. So you don't ain't no black player gonna open up.
Mm-mm.
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 You get what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? He
Oh
ain't
yeah.
opening up. He just trying to get through. He gonna be like, yeah, whatever. Till he get home, he gonna smoke that joint.
And that now we talking about and then now you get into other issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you
so
keep it
it's,
in. Yeah.
so he's coping till he can't to that coping mechanism doesn't work anymore. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's smoking weed, and the coach will be like, oh man, so he don't talk to me, he gonna smoke the weed. But I'll say, look at him, he got a bad character. So
Yeah.
people's character is getting assassinated before they even get to the point of harming themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Definitely agree
You
with
see what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
So now you suffocating me and my character without giving me the opportunity to have a voice. And then you trying to send me somewhere because you afraid I'm going to off myself or off somebody else. There is nothing empowering going on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh
There's
yeah.
nothing empowering going on. So that is my issue with athletics and so and so. It's like you don't want to put in the work to empower these young people. Because mental health is happening all the time. I tell people all the time, people think, I said, most, you ever notice when you talk about mental health, the first thing people do is they get quiet, like it's something sad. Oh, so-and-so,
Yeah.
he's going to work on his mental health. And they get, oh no, man, oh, seriously, what's wrong with him? Nothing's
Yeah.
wrong with him.
Yeah.
Mental
Right.
health, mental health is happening the moment that my foot hits the ground every
Yeah.
morning. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about stuff. Stuff is coming my way. I have to make sure I process it and put that stimuli in the right places. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's
That I
no
can
different than your
control that.
physical
But
health.
it's no different with your physical health. But we
Yeah.
have the reason why we separated like that because big pharma is making a lot of money off of it. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so it's more important for them to attach mental health to sickness
Yeah. So you get to live in
instead of mental health to mental empowerment. If that makes
That's
sense.
key. That's a great point. I
yeah.
like that.
That is
You
so
I
get what
like
I'm
true.
that.
saying?
I like that.
Like you said, Jimmy, I'm 50 and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I ain't holding my tongue on, right? So when
Okay.
they call me, I tell them, like, y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't just wasting time. Before
Yeah.
I try to be all, "Oh, I can't say it that way. You know what I'm saying? Government, no, y'all ain't doing crap. You wasting people time.
No doubt. No doubt.
You ain't doing.
No
Oh,
doubt.
we don't want you up here, sir. So you gonna still be doing the wrong stuff anyway. It don't matter. I'm right. I'm right. You'll find out 5, 10 years from now. You feel, oh yeah, but Coach Jackson was right. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Because it's sickening because you're seeing so many kids and so many families are getting devastated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not getting taken care of and they're just getting a runaround, you
Yeah.
know. So
And we need more people like you out here, especially in this era
well,
with
oh,
mental health.
I'm trying to hang in, but it's weighing thin because
No doubt.
I
No
got a
doubt.
wife that I love dearly, and I got kids that's about to graduate, and I love developing them into their talents and gifts, and it ain't got nothing to do with that.
No
So
doubt.
so they gonna pull my energy away from this fight fast, quick, and hurry. You get what I'm
No doubt.
saying?
No
So
doubt.
yeah.
So, really quick before you go, we do want you to participate in our last segment of our show. It's called Fair or Foul. And so, what I do is I just give you a topic, and you just say if you like it, you
I
say
got
fair.
you, Jimmy. I
You
got you,
don't.
Jimmy.
Okay.
I
So,
just,
first thing, do you think that there should be a union for college players?
oh,
Because Northwestern started this. That's where the conversation really took off from a group of Northwestern
Fair or
folks.
foul? You
I would agree that there needs to be a union if I know who the leadership is.
Okay.
okay? So,
The
fair with
leadership is
stipulations.
Okay.
no because this is important, right? Like we got this young cat, these white guys are starting that process, and the first school that they got to jump on board. This is fact. This is happening now. Is UAB down in Birmingham, University
Okay.
of Alabama, Birmingham, with Trent Dilfer. He's the coach down
Okay.
there. So
I
he's
did not know
doing
that.
it. Yeah, he's doing it. He's trying to say that he always for the players, but he's doing it for recruiting reasons. It's whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So these young white guys, they talking about, yeah, we starting a unionizing process
Because
in a
this in
lot
the
of schools.
South. The South don't do unions.
Yeah, exactly. So how that sound? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if somebody say the South is doing some union, you need to be having a raised eye, and be like, okay, yeah, It's just like you got that white sheet over your head. Yeah, what are you really doing? But
No
anyway,
doubt.
but what you really doing? But the point is, they got these guys barking that yeah, it's just time now for the players' representation. The players need this, player that, but they don't understand that players like yeah, we need that day for us, by us, and it's like okay, so that means at 18 years old, when you step on that campus as a student athlete, you're considered an employee. Are you ready to be a high-paying employee? Do you have the maturity? Do you have the bank? So well, you know what that means? That means all the mental health support that they have for you, that's going to shrink.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All that's on you now.
Yeah.
that's true.
So
That is true.
so anytime you ain't going to class on time, you being insubordinate, right? You know what I'm saying? You ain't hit the performance scales. Or even we even got a guy who did everything he was supposed to. Did everything, was great. Coach came to him and said, "Hey, the guy that left us yesterday in Porter wants to come back, so we're gonna have to cut you."
Mm, mm,
And
So
it's just
all
like
this,
that.
just like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if you want this grown man's business, I got to make sure that my leadership is training me for this new environment, not just giving me power that I don't even understand or do I don't even have the capacity to hold.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, to be honest, I don't care how many unions you got. You ain't gonna be no more powerful than that university or that program. That's
Mm-hmm.
point blank.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
You ain't
So
gonna be no
we're
more
gonna
powerful than that.
so we'll keep that fair, but with your explanation.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Next one.
So of course, I probably know the answer to, but players get a share of the TV revenue. We're talking about college football players.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they get to
Yeah.
Okay.
play that revenue, right? But I would like to see, like when it first came about, I want when it was when it, in team in conjunction with the union, kids should be given that 4 years, right?
Mm.
But in that fourth year, that's when that money comes to them. Now they can get a little bit. You see what I'm saying? A percentage
So
of it.
like
But when that
invest, like almost like a retirement thing. If that, yeah,
exactly. And once you finish, that's when that money comes to you
that'd
right
be
then and
dope.
there.
That's dope.
But because the thing is, you still need to grow and develop as a human being. That's being responsible. Like I don't understand how somebody got a why would anybody have a 150, $200,000 car in an apartment parking lot
And we say that all the
with,
time here.
with no garage?
And we say that all the time
You
here.
can
Who
say
who
You'd be
does
that.
amazed. You see somebody
who
with a
does that?
Maserati in an apartment complex.
It is subsidized, yeah, housing apartment complex.
I mean, come on, man. So the deal is if you're stepping into this world of wealth and becoming a influential athlete for your community, you have to learn what that means and what that looks like.
Yeah.
You
True.
see what I'm saying? So whatever dream that you had that you thought it would be, that's not how it works.
Mm,
For sustainability. Now
No doubt.
it might be good for momentary likes and clicks, but for sustainability, that's not how this goes.
No doubt.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you need that type of leadership, man, to kind of help them through that. But yeah, shoot, you need that money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Last question is my man Christian McCaffrey the best running back in the NFL? Who's the best running back in the
You know, that's hard, man. That's hard. That's hard.
My man is Derrick Henry. That's who I like. I like Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is he is truly the best. He would have had better yards, but he had a better line and a better quarterback
Yeah.
situation. You know, because Christian McCaffrey wasn't putting that up in Carolina. So Christian McCaffrey has the benefit of a better team and a better offensive coordinator scheming up runs.
Okay.
That's benefit. But I like Derrick Henry. I think Saquon Barkley is going to do a lot at Philly.
Okay, you think so? I'm a
I
I'm a
think yeah,
Cowboys fan. So I
because
don't
he's
know
gonna be
about that.
yeah, because he's gonna be in a better situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At Philly, I like the running back at Atlanta. It's gonna
Okay.
be really really good.
Yeah.
Bijan
Yeah,
Robinson. It's going to be really, really good.
yeah,
But you
okay.
can't take the fact of the production of McCaffrey
Yeah,
and what he's done this year. But it's all about situation, man.
yeah,
It's all about what situation you fall into.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was
Well,
it for
thank
today.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you
This
for
has been a great this has been
participating.
a great episode.
Oh
How
man,
can
have me on,
folks
man.
reach you? How can folks reach you? What is your social media handle, Twitter,
Yes,
internet?
yes. Coach BJ 42. That's my Instagram. Just hit me up on
Okay.
that thing if you want to find me, anything like that. Yeah. But you need to have me on when we talk about this 50 thing.
We definitely
I'm
would do
Yeah,
that.
we
we
have me on soon,
definitely
dude. Because
we will
we
do that. I
boy,
promise you. I promise you this before the next month is over with. We're gonna have that episode because well, I have questions I need to be able to ask freely to men that are 50 and above or close to 50 and above. Because
yeah,
yes,
I put it
it's
this way. We're not going to be, especially I'm not going to be bashing anyone too hard, but I'm just going to give you some things to think about because my grandmother, she the one hit me to it. Because I was 48 at the time. She says, okay, Bob, she said, when you turn 50, everything changes. She said, everything goes fast, everything moves quickly. Yeah, she said, it's just everything just changed. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm still on the grind. I'm still got these big dreams and big comps. And when I turned 50, I swear to God, it's just like the I don't give a F thing just dropped on my shoulders.
Told you. What I said.
it's already on his shoulders.
You see what I'm saying? It just dropped on my shoulders. Like, dude, I just want to do stuff that matter. I want people to be around me that feed into me because I've given so much that they gotta be feeding. You see what I'm saying?
Preach, man. Preach.
We
Preach.
gotta say that for the next episode.
Preach.
Yeah, I'm about to say that because I'm gonna go
Preach.
in on it. I'm about to go
Preach.
in on it for real.
Oh my
Man, I
God.
appreciate you, bro. I
Yes, this
appreciate
is
you,
a
bro.
delight. This is such a delight, Coach
Yes, this
Jackson.
is
I
great.
do appreciate
Coach Bobby Jackson, thank you,
My
man.
man,
I
Jimmy, man,
appreciate you.
it's an honor having you and your wife on, boy. Y'all are a blessing to me today. Y'all have a great
Thank
one.
you.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank
Peace and
you.
love out there, and we'll
Yes,
be in
sir.
contact
Yes,
soon, my
sir.
man.
All
Thank
right,
you.
brother. Peace
Have a
out.
great
Have
rest of
a
your
good
day.
one.
You
Have a
too.
good one. Happy
All
Juneteenth.
Happy
all right, thank
Juneteenth.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Uh, all right. Peace out.
Peace out. We hope you
Hope you
enjoyed this
enjoyed.
show with Coach Bobby Jackson. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Hit that subscribe. Don't just like, subscribe.
No doubt,
Okay?
no doubt.
Subscribe.